Hi, everyone. This is Kate from the Watertown Public Library and Teen Services. Thanks for joining us for Pay It Forward Friday. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about changing our focus and where we focus our energy and our attention. So, if you haven't been on one of our Pay It Forward Fridays before, what it means to pay it forward is doing good deeds and good acts um, out into the community and the world without recognition or expectation of repayment that then has a ripple effect and hopefully leads to other people doing more good deeds, which turns into more people doing good deeds. Um, Sometimes, with everything that's going on in the world, it can seem very difficult to see the positive things that are happening or the good. Um, but if you pay attention, you sometimes stumble across something. And this was something that I happened to find as I was on the library's Facebook page, um, monitoring Facebook for them. And I noticed that as part of the Watertown Rocks um, initiative, somebody made a rock that said, "Believe there is good in the world." And then there was a second message built into it that says, "Be the good." And they posted that on Facebook as one of the rocks that they found around town. And then also a smiley face rock. And both of those were kind of like happy accidents that I noticed as I was going through Facebook. And it made me think of the topic for today's Pay It Forward Friday, that you miss these things if you're not paying attention. They're easy to pass by. And part of the reason for that is because human beings are wired to notice things and look for things that are wrong, that don't seem to be in place or normally something they come across. And the reason for that was for survival, that in the early days of humans, they had to be aware of their surroundings. There are real dangers from the world and the animals around them. And it was really critically important that they knew when something didn't fit or was not something they normally came across that could be dangerous. And so we have this negativity bias where we go out into the world and we're always kind of subconsciously scanning for things that are just not quite right. And so it kind of slants us to the side of always focusing on things that are negative. But if we shift that focus and we intentionally change that to try and look for the good things that are happening around us, what happens? Because that is something that we can do. Um, so, one of the things that people tend to do is people are more likely to repeat behaviors and actions when those behaviors are reinforced. And providing attention to that is reinforcement. Attention can be, it doesn't matter if it's good attention or bad attention. Either way, paying attention to that action is reinforcing that behavior. So you can choose what you're going to focus your attention on and what you're going to draw recognition and attention to, um, in order to try and increase the behaviors and the actions that you see that are positive. So for this week's challenge, I'm going to encourage you to focus on the good things that are happening around you. Try and catch others being good at least twice a day. And I think once you start looking for it, you will start to see it more often. So when you see somebody doing something good that you want to recognize, immediately make eye contact and smile. Smiling will put a positive energy into your voice. And then be specific and name the good behavior that you're seeing and recognizing that they're engaged in. So there's some examples on the screen to give you some ideas on how you might do that. And the reason why you want to be specific is you want them to know what behavior you are recognizing and reinforcing to increase the chances that that behavior may increase. And for behaviors you don't like, try to ignore them. There's certainly always going to be exceptions, especially if there's a threat or danger of some kind. But if it's something that just annoys you and you don't particularly like that somebody's doing, try and ignore it rather than bringing attention to it so that you're not reinforcing that behavior. And hopefully over time, it will happen less often. As the week goes on, try and keep count of the things that you see this week, because again, the more you focus on the positive, I think you're going to start to notice more positive things. You kind of attract what you focus on. Over time, you will, if you keep doing this, train your mind to recognize and acknowledge all the good things that are happening around you. And that'll have a positive effect on your life. And positivity is a choice. You can choose to focus on that. So thanks for joining us for Pay It Forward Friday. We appreciate the efforts that you're making to put good out into the world, and we hope to see you next Friday, July 17th. In the meantime, be good to yourself and others. Thank you.